there comes a time in every creator's life where they realize that they need to open to receive more, need to get better at receiving people's praise or compliments or love, that it's not actually so much that that stuff's not available in their life, but they're just not letting it in. And so that's a great insight, except how do you actually receive more? How do you get better at receiving? How does one receive? What does that even mean, to open to receive? It's kind of a conceptual idea, like how do you do that? That's an important question. It's one I asked myself when I was beginning to discover that I was blocking and not receiving praise and acknowledgement and advice and things into me. So I started to look at it. Well, what is receiving actually inside a human being, inside a person's body and a mind? And through my inquiry and exploration, I realized that in the places where I do receive, there was something I was actively doing. There was an internal process that went along with receptivity. And so as I broke that down through looking at the areas that I did receive and looked at what I did, I could start to apply that to places where I wasn't receiving. So what I found in receiving for myself is that when somebody would say something like, if somebody said something like, you're smart or you're intelligent, I'd be doing a pretty good job at receiving that. But there were other things that people might say to me where, somebody said something today to me where historically this had not been a place where I was comfortable receiving, but I am receiving it now. We're at the gym working out, and he said something, and I said, well, that's easy for a big guy like you. Or I said, or that would be hard for a little guy like me. That's what I said. And he said, you're not little. And the idea that I'm a little guy is an old complex that still rears its head sometimes, right? I've mentioned in other videos, but anyway, it's an old complex that lives in my psyche. Like, I'm small, I'm little. And so it slipped out in this joke. And he said, you're not little. And I took that and I received it. I actively received it. But how did I do that? I know I'm making you wait for it right now. When people say things to me like, you're smart or you're intelligent, I automatically receive it by doing this inside me. This is what I do. I repeat what they said inside my mind, and I reference it against other times in my life that people have said that. So I create associations. And then as I remember those other times, I have an emotion in my body and I feel that emotion. And through feeling it, I associate it with other times people have said it. And so I essentially take it and I rattle it around and I amplify it. I hear the words, I see the image, I feel the feeling, and I pump it up, pump it up, pump it up. I let it echo in my body, in agreement. So I create association and agreement, and I let it feel it. And as I feel it, I think, where more did that happen, or where else have I heard that? Oh, what is some more evidence of that? And I pump it up, pump it up, pump it up. Give myself more of the hearing, more of the seeing, more of the feeling. And it grows and it gets bigger inside me. And then I feel the love of that compliment, that idea. So when I'm blocking something, when I'm not receiving, I'm not doing that. So what am I doing when I'm not taking something somebody said in and amplifying it and repeating it? What I do is if somebody said something to me, I can't even think of something right now that I'm not receiving. Okay, somebody said something to me where my initial reaction today, besides that little thing, somebody said, you're an awesome coach. And so my immediate response was to be like, oh, thanks, you're an awesome client. It was like, boom, boom. I didn't actually receive it. I said thanks, but it wasn't actually internally received. And then I brought it right back out as, hey, and you're an awesome client. So it was a way of like batting it off. But internally what I do, when I really slow down, it's like I look for arguments against it. So when I'm not receiving, internally, I instantly think of cases in which this can't be true. Or I find counter evidence that's contrary to that idea that you're an awesome coach. Well, I'm an awesome coach, but there's also this person just didn't show up for a free session that I was offering the other day, or this person still hasn't paid for their coaching that they said they wanted to do, so I must not be that awesome. It's like, oh, let me find some counter evidence to that thing. This is the pragmatic, internal, subconscious, automatic process of blocking, of not receiving, is to find counter evidence. And then through that counter evidence, which I can not only hear the words of or see the image of, but I feel the opposite of it. So to feel the opposite of the idea that I'm an awesome coach is the internal experience of blocking and being closed. And so people can speak things And we can either receive them in and feel that thing, or they can speak it and we can consider the opposite of it and feel the opposite, which is the loss of something or the non-existence of it. So people can actually be complimenting us, and we can use that as the impetus for self-judgment and self-abuse and for negative feeling. And how common is that? It's so common. Most compliments bounce off people on the outside, and they get experienced on the inside as their opposite, because we have these patterns of self-judgment and self-criticism, and anything out in the world can trigger them, not just the criticism, but the opposite of it. Oh, I can't believe that it can't possibly be true. So if we want to receive, how we can get better at receiving is to listen for people's compliments or praise, the things they say or their acts of love towards us, their words of love. And in the moment of them saying it, slow down. One way in to notice how fast you're going is to look at what is their behavior. Are you just batting it off? Are you saying, thank you? And sitting there and letting there be silence for a moment. And like in that moment of silence and in the space of you saying thank you, you can actually look inward and contemplate it. So today with my client, he said, you are an awesome coach. And I said, oh, thanks, you're an awesome client. Then I went, but wait a minute. I just bounced that right back to you. Let me sit with that for a second. I'm an awesome coach. Thank you. And I saw that, and I reflected on other places where I consider that, or people have said that, and what does it feel like to be that? Ah, okay, wow. Right? And so you can look for your external actions as indicators for what you're doing on the inside. If you're quickly bouncing it off or saying, oh no, I couldn't be, or denying it or reflecting it back to them, chances are you're not actually receiving it. So use that outside behavior as an indicator to you of your inside behavior, and slow down. Practice saying thank you, even if it doesn't feel comfortable, as a way to flag you to go in to actually receive it. And then when you go in, what you can do, you hold on, create some rails for yourself, intentionally, consciously, repeat the words. Somebody says to you, you're beautiful, and you say, wow, I'm beautiful, I'm beautiful. And they're hearing their words. When can I remember another time that somebody said that? Wow, there's some more evidence, I'm beautiful, I'm beautiful. And I start to collect associations, and I train myself to find associations for, not against. And then through seeing it in my mind's eye while hearing their words and hearing other people's words in my inner ear, I start to feel it. And as I feel it, I can ask the feeling, where else have I felt this way? Oh, there's that time I had that dress on and I looked in the mirror. If you're guy or girl, whatever, LGBT, well, cool. And you look in the mirror and you're wearing a dress and you had your own thought that, oh, I look beautiful. And you start to feel that. And it's like, ooh, you pump it up, pump it up, pump it up, raise the volume. So the act of receiving is an internal process of echoing what somebody did or somebody said out there about you or for you, echoing it, amplifying it, cross-associating with other times from the past, using your imagination, your mind's eye, your internal visual field, and to create feelings, and then to amplify it, amplify it, amplify it. That's how to receive. That's how to receive on the inside. And when you're receiving on the inside, here's the reason why this is a useful thing to do, especially for a creator. When our hearts receive the love that's being given, our hearts become full. And when our hearts become full, we're both at peace, and we have the natural, innate, internal desire to give and to serve. And to give and to serve is an output of power, and that creates. And there's much more powerful creation that can happen from the spontaneous gift of your full heart that can ever happen from an empty heart that's beating themselves up into action to make shit happen. Yeah, you can do it that way, but you feel empty. The product is one of pain and suffering and fear and loathing. And so the essence of that is in whatever you create. So who wants that shit? Why create shit when you can create something beautiful? And beautiful things are created from a full heart. Full hearts open and share automatically. And so if that's how you want to create powerfully in the world, then fill your heart. If you want to fill your heart, then start receiving. And if you want to start receiving, then do that by actively, intentionally, consciously paying attention to what are you doing internally. The moment somebody gives you something, some words, some encouragement, a glance, a smile, how am I creating my internal experience in response to that external impetus? What am I doing on the inside? Take the reins of your consciousness and guide your inner experience to be one that receives love and then creates and gives loves automatically from that. Thank you for listening. Today is the perfect day for you to create who you are. You are loved and you are powerful, and I am loving you simply for your being here. I will talk to you soon.